Enemies to the east. Enemies to the west. Enemies to the south. Enemies to the north. Whatever stands in our way, we will defeat it. We're the last Lannisters. The last ones who count.
I was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms. And I will.
The King in the North!
Your father and brothers are gone, yet here you stand. Last best hope against the coming storm.
If we don't put aside our enmities and band together, we will die. And then it doesn't matter whose skeleton sits on the Iron Throne.
The Great War is here.
Wow, wasn't that an exciting trailer? This is Old Nan with She-Wolves of Winter, and I wanted to talk to you about the latest Season 7 Game of Thrones official trailer. Well, we get Cersei on the throne, and she's got enemies to the east, splashes to Grey Worm, and shows the map on the table at Dragonstone, where Dany and them are at, and it's passing by Duskendale. Then Cersei says enemies to the west, and it looks like Euron's ship, and then enemies to the south, and I don't know why, but they got the map showing the Vale of Arryn. Enemies to the north, back to the scene of Castle Black, and Arya riding along on a horse, and it looks like cold, hopefully north. Cersei says, whatever stands in our way, we will defeat it. And then it shows Lannister armies marching. And then it flashes to the throne room with Cersei and Jaime. And they have an audience with what looks to me like an agent from the Iron Bank. And that's my guess. And then Cersei says, we're the last Lannisters, the only ones who count. Of course, she would say that. And then you see Tyrion walking to the edge of a cliff, and the dragons fly up in front of him. And you see Dany as she gets the gates of Dragonstone open for her, and the stairs leading up to the castle. This is where the leaked photos have been showing Jon and Dany together on those stairs. And Dany says, I was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms, and I will. Then it changes to Dany kneeling on the beach at Dragonstone. Looks like she's about ready to kiss the ground. And then Dany on the throne at Dragonstone with the Dothraki approaching. The scene changes to the Unsullied breaking into, of all places, yes, you got it, Casterly Rock. Yes, the Rock. And you can see the L over the archway and the lions on the side. And they're not just at the gates, they are in the gate. And then they shows them fighting at the Rock on the battlements. So, very excited to see that. Then it shows a scene of Jon Snow as the king in the north. And you can see Sansa at the table and Brienne crossed on Sansa's right. Then you see Jon at the table with all the clans gathered. All the northern houses are gathered. And you can hear Littlefinger saying to Sansa, your father and brothers are gone, yet here you stand. And then the scene switches back to the gate at Castle Black opens. And what comes next? Theon with fire sparks in the background. Then you hear Littlefinger again say, the last hope against the coming storm, telling Sansa. The scene switches from Theon to Melisandre, and it looks like she has made it to Dragonstone, folks. Yes, she is at Dragonstone, overlooking the long stairways going down to the beach where Dany just came up. So, she's still in the play so far. Jon and Davos arriving on the scene switches to above the wall to a group of men running between high stone walls. And is this the house in the middle of the island on the lake? I don't know. That's spoilery. And then you get Arya bending over a small fire as she's alone, and it looks like she's going home, and she sighs, and you get the frost breath. Next thing you get is the group of men in the north of the wall, and they're in a circle with their backs to each other. It looks like they're going to be in big trouble. And then you see here Davos. If we don't put aside our enmities and band together, we will die. The scene changes, and it shows Littlefinger hiding in the dark, listening, and being just downright sneaky. Next scene, you see the Dothraki jumping off their horse onto the enemy at full gallop. I can't wait to see these. Next scene is the burning ships. Doesn't matter whose skeleton sits on the Iron Throne. That's Davos saying that. Excellent trailer. We also see a scene of the mountain in the back of the throne room at King's Landing. We see Dany and Tyrion looking at the map table. The next scene is Jon and company running down the rock walls with torches. Next scene is Jon in the crypts with Littlefinger, and it looks like Jon is going to beat the fool out of Littlefinger or stab him or something, which he does deserve. And Jon pushes him back against the wall and has his hand around Littlefinger's throat. And Jon is so mad. He's so mad. I like when he gets mad. The next scene is Unsullied, and they're fighting the Lannisters. And I like watching them fight the Lannisters. Next you see Arya looking under a bed. Now this is some really freaky stuff here. You see her looking under the bed, and the next scene is a hand with grayscale, and it comes out of the window of a closed door. So that's it's probably at Old Town. The next scene is the Dothraki, and they're still fighting the Lannisters, but they're in an open field this time. We switch from there to Jon and Tormund, and they're above the wall, and they're running real fast like they're scared for their life. They probably are. Next we see Grey Worm and Melisandre, and it looks like they're gonna get undressed anyway. We go from there. It switches over to Yara and one of the Sand Snakes kissing, the one that survives, I forget her name. But there will be a kissing scene between them two girls. Then we see Tyrion, and he's at the map table of Dragonstone, and he's at the map room in Dragonstone, and there's a little figurine of the Lannister lion. He covers that Lannister lion and turns it on its side, as if to say that's the end of the Lannisters, or their army at this point anyway. Then we switch to an underwater scene with light shining down and two people falling in the water with fire shining above. I don't know if this is Jon and Tormund, or if the fire above is the Dothraki, if it's a dragon flying over charging with fire blazing, or what. But then you see the Dothraki charging in an open field with Dany and her dragon flying above them, and that's so exciting. And that is it this time. Fades to black and white, and you hear Jon say, "The Great War is here," and then it's it. So yeah, I'm very excited for this first trailer. Thank you everybody for stopping out to the She-Wolves of Winter and listening to us from time to time. We appreciate it. We're gonna try to do some more coverage for the shows when it comes. We're still talking about that. So thank you everybody, and hope you have a great week, and hope all is well with you and yours, and hope to see you again here at the She-Wolves of Winter. Good night.